The beaches of Normandy were consecrated by the blood of our heroes. British, Canadian, Poles, Free French, and American. The GIs in by far the greatest numbers. From Carentan to Caen, over a stretch of 60 miles, the battles raged, and Omaha Beach took its place with Gettysburg and Valley Forge in our history.
Probably the key battle in the push to free Europe from the grip of Nazi tyranny, staining the beaches with American blood on D-Day. German troops couldn't keep our brave soldiers from storming the beaches at Normandy, but the government shutdown is keeping American veterans and tourists from visiting this sacred ground. Greg Palcott, live in Normandy, France now. Greg.
Hey, John, we are thousands of miles from Washington, but that government shutdown even affecting here, the American Cemetery Memorial in Normandy. As you can see by the sign, this memorial, the cemetery, is closed to the public. And beyond me, there's something like 9,300 graves of U.S. soldiers who died mostly at D-Day. The land here was deeded to the U.S. by France. Washington is picking up the bill, and so we have the close down of this site. And so we have a lot of upset and disappointed people who have come here. Americans who have planned this trip for months, years, maybe thought about it for a lifetime, couldn't change those plans, and again, very disappointed. Listen to what a few of them told us, by the way, many of these veterans of other wars. Take a listen. Should the spirit that was shown here many years ago maybe be shown a little bit more in D.C.?
These guys all died for the freedoms we've got, and now we can't even get in to pay our respects to them. I mean, where is that now? Where is that? Where's that ethic?
They've lost touch with what the basics were and what these people gave and what sacrifice really is, you know?
We come all the way to visit this place of honor, and you can't even get in.
I do hope the politicians back in Washington pull themselves together and get the problem solved quickly.
Again, because of this shutdown, the visitors are not able to see the graves, but they are able to work their way around the cemetery and see the vast expanse of beach that was the killing field in June 1944 for so many brave Americans. Again, we were with some veterans, and they were, in fact, trying to plot their own invasion across the beach, up the cliff, to try to get into the cemetery to pay their respects. They can't understand it, John, and the locals we talked to also cannot understand it. We talked to one Frenchman at a cafe and said, this is impossible. Cemeteries are meant to stay open. By the way, John, there is at least one cemetery open in the area, the cemetery for German soldiers killed during D-Day. We understand that one tour group has substituted this stop for a visit there. Back to you.
Greg Palcott in Normandy, France. Greg, thank you.
Well, on that news, when we've been talking about ways to reconcile the shutdown, we've talked a little bit about the grand bargain, some big deal that would bring all sides together, or these mini spending bills that the House is attempting to pass. For example, later today, the House will pick up a spending bill just to fund FEMA and try to get that to the Senate to pass. And that's what they're attempting to do, to keep different parts, slivers of the government open. Well, the White House just issued a statement on that approach, saying that the administration strongly opposes House passage of a piecemeal appropriations legislation that restores only very limited activities. Consideration of appropriation bills in this fashion is not a serious or responsible way to run the United States government. The House of Representatives should reopen all of the government. So that's the message coming from the White House today. And some may say that's an all or nothing approach. You have to get some big deal. The other strategy, of course, are these mini deals. Can we work on those? So we'll see what happens as this continues.
It would seem that the White House would know that they have a role in opening the government as well as the Senate. It's not just the House.
Well, not according to this statement. The one that I just read actually said just the House of Representatives.
That's curious, isn't it? I
it's
thought
just the
all
words.
three
Those are the
of
words.
them were involved.